Hello and welcome to Good Boys Gone Bland, Free for All, Jennifer's Body. I'm your co-host Denali.
I'm your co-host Ryan.
I'm Jay.
So I've received a message from someone last night that one of us might be possessed by a demon.
It's not me.
Okay, Ryan said it's not him. So Jace, we're going to ask you a couple of questions to kind of see if you are the real Jace or not. I just want to make sure we're vetting everything. Okay, so Jace, what kind of sandwich would you prefer?
Pumpernickel on rye.
Oh, okay.
Pumpernickel on rye.
That's two breads.
Pumpernickel on rye.
Yeah, but like, what's in between those breads? Would you
Pumpernickel
rather
rye
have?
sandwich.
Okay. Ryan, do you have a question for Jace?
Yeah. Would you eat that sandwich in a dark forest?
Do you want to go? I've got an extra sandwich.
Yes. Will you be in the dark forest at 9 p.m.?
Ryan, this is not
even know my
sounding
last
like a
name?
question that maybe would help discern if he's a demon or not. It sounds like you just want to make plans with Jace.
I'll be
we
there.
might find if he's a demon if we meet him in the forest.
I'll be there with three sandwiches.
Yes. You should come one at a time.
Welcome, folks, to our Jennifer's Body
You
episode.
don't have another question?
Okay, Jace, would you rather have a glass of milk or a human head for lunch?
Ooh. Hey, glass of milk is a breakfast treat.
Yeah.
Or like after a run. So a human head.
After a run? You
glass
come
of
inside all hot and sweaty, and out of breath, and you want milk? That's actually a little suspicious.
I think
I'm not
that's-
unhealthy,
I think
and I don't
that's
stop
a
my
little
runs by
suspicious.
just ending them and walking inside, you know?
And I do want to point out that he also said a human head before he said he would drinks milk after a run. And I want to make sure that is on the record too. So Jace, if you could just step over here to our demon slaying corner where we have oh, there he goes. He's walking. He's miming walking down.
Downstairs?
Got upstairs.
On a pogo stick, maybe?
And folks, that is how you exit an improv sketch. Professional
You just
dismount.
fucking
by
leave.
Jace. You just mime walking downstairs. We watched.
Imagine
Jennifer's-
not coming back in the middle of an improv show.
This bit's not really working, so I'm just gonna start walking down the stairs and have you guys finish this out. We watched Jennifer's Body this week, folks. The classic horror comedy. Ryan, this was your pick.
It was my pick. And, nobody believes me, but it wasn't like a meme pick. It wasn't a,
Right.
I want to watch this movie with women in it pick. It was like an actual, I had heard that this movie had achieved cult status.
Yes.
And had a, revolution in how it was perceived by the, queer community and by the feminist community. And after finally finding and being sorely disappointed by Slumber Party Massacre.
You've been messaging me about that movie for like a year, and hearing that you saw it and it was bad, I'm glad we never did it for a bonus.
Right, I completely agree, because this is
Yeah.
kind of what I expected Slumber Party Massacre to be. Jennifer's Body came out in 2009. You might remember it as being marketed towards like teenage boys.
Yeah.
Especially with the title and the starring being Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried. It was produced by a major Hollywood studio, and therefore they could not conceive of any other way of marketing this movie. But in reality, it's a story about two high school friends who kind of run into an unfortunate situation in which one of them gets possessed by a demon.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a little... I hate it when that happens. They go see a band at a dive bar, sort of, and they're underage, by the way. And the band is not... They're nefarious. They're like... They know the occult. And so they sacrifice Megan Fox's character, Jennifer Check. And in doing so, they mistakenly turn her into a demon. And her best friend, Amanda Seyfried, who plays Needy. Needy must brave the occult section of the library at school and save her boyfriend from Jennifer's clutches. Wow, I did it.
You did it. That was a good synopsis, Ryan. Yeah, I remember. Like, it's funny you say like the marketing for this movie because I remember in 2009, right? This is like post Transformers. Megan Fox is kind of like everywhere in like the pop culture sphere. And I remember even as like I was like 13 or 14-year-old boy who was probably like the marketing demographic for this movie. I remember seeing trailers and being like, this doesn't look good. Like
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I don't think I need to see this. Like, and
I actively avoided
Yeah.
it because I thought, well, Megan Fox's acting was not particularly the reason I, at that point, liked
Right.
Transformers. I liked it because cars punching each other. And therefore, I didn't really want to see her in this like kind of quasi horror movie that's probably just like another Mean Girls, but not funny and not well acted. And that was going to be it. I
it to be a male
completely
gaze
wrote this
movie,
movie
yeah.
off. I completely, purposefully avoided it until now.
yeah, it went through a renaissance. And like it reminds me of like Axe body spray. You guys remember reading that thing like a while back where it was like the Axe body spray, like when they were first like coming up with it, they wanted to market it to like the the 8th grade boys and like the teen like insecure dudes, and then they realized they like it totally it was too successful, and it like was overwhelmingly characterized by a certain type of dude who uses Axe body
okay.
spray. And then like the marketing people were like, oh fuck, it was so successful, we actually need to scale this back and actually change the marketing completely now because nobody else wants to use Axe body spray.
Everybody in the locker room in middle school was blasting
Holy
Axe
shit.
body
I
spray.
blasted it.
I mean, the whole middle school football team at the Pennsylvania school that I went to, we were
Yeah, I feel like that smell was like literally of our era. Like when
I
you're
can smell it right now.
I can smell Axe right fucking
If
now.
I imagine
Like,
the chocolate one, 'cause
sorry,
that's
that's
the one
because
I
I'm
use.
wearing it.
yeah, I could smell Jace 2,000 miles away right now. If a doctor like poked a part of my brain during brain surgery, I would smell the smell. It's such of a certain time. I was personally an Old Spice guy. There was a flavor called Denali.
Oh yeah,
nice.
the Old Spice when they went away from the like soapy smell and went to like the swagger. I wore swagger for a while. I did like the Denali ones and like those like national park themed ones.
Yeah, those
for
are
a
pretty
little
good.
while.
They smell pretty good.
Yeah, but then the Axe chocolate was the one that I really liked. And then another thing that happened in like my house, because I had an older brother, he had first choice of the Axe smells,
Okay.
and I could not duplicate that smell. I had to have a different Axe smell than him.
Yeah, you couldn't have the same smell.
Couldn't have the same Axe smell. You can't be the
Right,
Axe
yeah,
brothers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And so that was kind of, I don't know, that's the way the brain worked when this movie was coming out. I mean, I was like, 15, 16, so.
I'm trying to remember how your brother smelled because he was my gym partner, and I'm trying to like think about what Danny
Close your
smelled
eyes.
like.
Close your eyes.
Okay.
Close your
We're
eyes.
like
Here, wait.
playing dodgeball.
Shh, quiet.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The bus has dropped you off in the parking lot right in front of the basketball courts.
Okay. Yeah.
Very early.
It's really far.
Cold though. The first snow, termination dust is cascaded down. Okay.
Yeah.
First lowland snow. It's cold. It's brisk.
Okay.
You walk your
brisk.
way along that path, along the basketball courts, that
Should have
front
worn
grass
shorts.
section,
Yeah.
into Colony. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
The doors to the gyms are on your right. For whatever reason, you have gym first period, so you go
I did though.
down that hallway to the right, take another right down the long hallway. You could have just gone in that side door, but they keep it closed for some reason, unless you're
It's
like
so stupid.
older.
Why do they keep it closed? Yeah.
Last door on the left, boys' locker room. You walk in, Danny's there. Take a deep breath. What does he smell
Okay.
like?
It does smell like Axe body spray. I think it is. I think
What
I
color?
think he did. I think it was the blue one.
Hey, good job.
I think it was the blue one. I think Jace, you just memory palaced me like in Arrow. CW.
Yeah, and the funny thing
I can
is,
memory Palace Colony High School.
we
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
blank out the name of that high school, I think, because you accurately described it and you just said what doors were unlocked.
I'm sure they changed the locks. by
And we've
now.
said Axe body spray so much that I think we're going to get put into the wrong algorithm.
What do you guys smell like now? I'm sorry, I don't want to do this too long.
Oh, I use Wolf Thorn. I'm a
Dior
Wolf Thorn.
Sauvage.
The fuck? What does that mean?
I used to think it was sausage for like years, and I saw the V.
Dove Men, and then, yeah.
I actually I use the Old Spice Fiji deodorant.
Oh, you really?
Yeah, I do.
Still
It
Old
smells
Spice
really
in it?
good. Yeah.
Well, this is
It's
all
really-
going to get cut because we're not putting this in the
This is important.
This is not movie
all
material. We got to go
staying,
on. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about this movie opens with You Might Be Wondering How I Got Here, which I like this in movies. Amanda Seyfried's in
That's
a prison.
right. She's in the psych ward.
And she like donkey kicks like an orderly across the room.
Yeah, that
fucking
was,
lights
I think
her up.
that was the first, obviously, but instantly the first instance where I was like, oh, this movie is not going to be like I imagined it to be. That was like
Yes.
pretty serious violence. And blood came out of the orderly's mouth and she was spitting teeth out. She got kicked in the chest.
Yeah, your teeth came out with the chest
Yeah,
kick.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know how it happened. That's pretty fucking sick.
And then she gets
was
put
a
in her
tumor.
cell.
she
Coughed it
she saved her life.
Yeah.
So think
She
about
gets
that.
put in her cell. We see a photo of young Neil from Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, that was him.
And then we go back in time, I guess, to high school.
Needy and Jennifer, like Ryan said, are best friends. It's kind of like that high school dichotomy where it's like the one cool, popular best friend, and then one who's like
Jennifer.
kind of nerdy, right? Jennifer's the cool,
Needy.
Good job, Jace.
Yeah, that's the
Hey, did
one.
you guys agree with my? Did you guys agree with my selection?
That Jennifer's the popular one?
No. That I'm Jennifer, Ryan's needy, and that you're
Young Neil.
That I'm Chet. No, I don't want to be Chet. Chet dies, dude. He gets eaten.
Whoa,
Somebody-
spoilers.
Yeah, Chet plays the drums though. That's you. You're a drum
I
guy.
don't want to. No, I don't want to be a drum guy. I don't want to get eaten.
Dude, you got the hair for it. I mean, I just don't know what to tell you.
No. But yeah, like I didn't know this movie was gonna be a comedy too. Like going in.
Okay, can we? So
Yeah.
I want to get it from the get-go when we start going
Okay.
scene by scene.
Yes.
I really enjoyed this movie, and I was having a rip-roaring time. I'm throughout this movie, I was drinking those tiny little $1 shooters of alcohol.
Yeah, like
that I
planes.
bought a buttload for my party. I watched this during my Halloween party last night.
And you're the only one
And
there.
almost nobody drank them.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay,
we
yeah.
had a bunch left over. They were covered in little napkins, and then I drew ghost faces on them. And so you could just pick one mystery, and then they're all different. So you didn't know what flavor you're gonna get.
That's fun.
And it turns out that's not a very appealing way to distribute alcohol to like 30-something-year-olds.
This one's Listerine. You gotta drink it. You have to drink it or leave.
And so I was floating. I was having a good time. And my favorite subgenre of movie is like slashers. And we had just watched a couple really terrible, unfunny slashers. And so I was knee slapping through a lot of this movie. And the comedy at first glance is like, oh, it's kind of that funny, like
Yeah.
high school sort of stupid humor. But like it's pretty biting. Like it's very stylized, right? And I was trying to have this conversation with Julia, like trying to nail down what I liked about the dialogue. And it reminded me a lot of like Superbad, where the characters kind of just, they say what's on their mind. They don't necessarily say something that they think is going to be like cool. It's kind of
Yeah.
just two friends talking to each other, how friends talk to each other.
It is, yeah, and it's. I think they emulate high school really well too.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned Mean Girls earlier too. Like I do feel like it's that same where it's like they're playing off the tropes, but it's really self-aware, and they're making like pop culture references and dropping like all this stuff. And it felt like high school when we were there too. Just like the styles, the fashion, and just the way, like the slang terms, where she's like, "Oh, you're totally green Jello," which sounds like it's totally made up by the movie script. But I could see a teen at the time saying something like kind of a weird like slang thing like that. I agree, Ryan. Like I fucking loved like the tone of this movie. I think it was really fun. Like the concept of a shitty band literally selling their souls to the devil so that they could become popular, and they're like the shittiest. I forgot about this type of band in the late 2000s. This is like Theory of a Dead Man, that kind of like where they have those shitty faux hawks and like neck tattoos, but it's like they're playing like this fucking Muzak pop like radio pop shit. It's wild because the devil is like real in this world. It's real enough that these idiots can like rent a demonic book from any library apparently in a high school and look up how to summon a demon and like grant a wish, which is fucking wild. That's actually like a really big deal because like how often is this happening in this world? Like if I heard this was real, I'd be really excited because like that means demons are real and like there's a purpose to life and like there's all this stuff that happens, you know? Like life isn't just like this meaningless fucking like meat eat meat soulless world. Like there's an actual thing in afterlife. It'd be incredible. Anyways.
Yeah,
I
so
liked when all
anyways,
the animals in the forest came and then the guy died. That was funny.
That was cool. Well, like I was thinking about the Devil's Kettle, right? Which is kind of like the Chekhov's bottomless hole in this movie, right? Because it's like this whirlpool, and they like use it to summon the devil, right? Or to summon like a demon and sacrifice Jennifer to the devil. Like I feel like
I
whoever,
think that was coincidence. I don't think
I think they just
Yeah.
used it.
I think
He,
they
like,
were
threw the
just
knife in
they
it.
they
For a
went into
cool
the
scene
small
backdrop.
town because
Oh,
they
I
like
see.
needed to, and it'd be funny. They were like, "How do we get the knife later?"
Oh, I see. Okay, because I was thinking like if that was your land that you owned, like you could open up a shop and have like a devil wish granting factory or something.
Bring
But
your own
if you
version, BYOV.
Yeah, BY. Yeah, they did have to make sure that. Okay, but it's like maybe it doesn't always have to be a human being, right? Because earlier, you saw Jennifer's character; she was eating a rotisserie chicken off the floor, and maybe there are replacements. So, like maybe for smaller wishes, you could have like chicken or like a small animal or an object for smaller wishes that you could sacrifice. for a
It's an
devil.
interesting concept because you're getting your wish granted, and almost. I mean, you would either be creating a succubus or you would be bringing a demon into this plane.
Yes.
Which, like maybe sign me up, maybe sacrifice me. Maybe
To
all
be
of a
a
sudden
demon.
I just got to eat a person every 2 weeks.
It doesn't
Yeah.
seem that bad, I think, to be a demon.
What if you guys could have a demon, or
Yeah.
like if you guys could be sacrificed and become a demon?
Become a demon, yeah.
What is this a good outcome for a demon? Like she's she's very vampire-like.
Yes.
She's more like a succubus, probably.
I think she is like described as a succubus in the movie. Like
Okay.
canon, she's a succubus.
Yeah. Is that a good outcome? Is this like something that we would actually want? Because like we talked about this a couple times ago with the vampire. Like
Right.
I don't know if I'd want to be a vampire.
Well, I think the implication is that's not her anymore, right? Because she died.
You think
Because
it's
wouldn't so because I feel like it's an actual possession. But if it was me and I was just like this, I would think positive, honestly.
because at the end of the movie, Amanda Seyfried, spoilers,
Yeah.
it has some demonic powers from her encounter with Megan Fox's character Jennifer, and so
She was bitten.
that was kind of portrayed as a good outcome because she's got superpowers like demon strength.
That's cool. Yeah.
We need a sequel. There should be like a demon slaying, evil murdering sequel to this
I
movie.
do think there should be a sequel. I also think that we should ask the Emily Elizabeth question.
Yes. Okay. Let's do this.
In this world, do you think the U.S. military knows
Yes.
about
Oh yeah,
demons?
baby.
Dude, the devil would be pulling 13-hour shifts on fucking speed dial because he would be summoned every 5 seconds with like he's like, God damn, another fucking wish.
No, not even for wishes to create partial demon super soldiers. Because if you have a
Oh, if he's-
demon and it
yeah.
bites somebody, but you don't die, it's kind of vampiric, and then it kind of transfers on like an infection.
Oh, so you would just
almost.
need one demon.
You need
that
a
would just-
demon locked in the basement of the Pentagon, and
Listen,
Jesus Christ.
you're gonna get to eat 4 people, not him. You just have to bite him, okay?
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
looking
exactly.
At you.
If you're that demon locked up, if you're the creature in the basement in Ursula K. Le Guin's short story about the basement, I don't remember what it's called.
Oh, nice.
What's your trade? What's your
I wanted pepperoni.
What's your
I can't
trade
bite
off?
this
Yeah.
That
What's
sucks,
your trade
dude.
off? A
I don't want to
Hawaiian
be
pizza a week?
I don't want to be stuck in a basement eating a Hawaiian pizza a week, and that's my existence, dude. I want to
My
be
WoW
prowling.
subscription ran out. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's like just hook him up to a computer with the internet, and then he'll do whatever you want.
Yeah, I forgot this discussion. I think what did maybe Ryan, you remember like in our time travel episode, we were talking about like if you introduced Lost the TV show to somebody from the past and how entranced they would be. So like if you took a demon whose probably only knowledge of cultures from like 1100 and you showed him WoW or like Civilization on the PC and put him on a table, I think he would be fascinated for long enough because he has like, he has like a long like they're immortal. Like they could go they don't get bored as easy.
And the magic of pressing a button on a wireless keyboard and having
Yeah.
it interact with someone else across the world. Demons would love that shit.
I think demons would like this.
They'd
I think
be the
demons
ultimate internet troll.
I think they're online right now,
Yeah.
actually.
There are those people on Omegle that are like, you live on 42 Kentucky Avenue Boulevard. And
Oh, Jesus
the
Christ.
person's like, what?
Well, even just like the wish aspect, right? Like that wish was so powerful because the band sacrificed Jennifer.
Yeah, but it's a
and,
monkey's
like,
paw.
They became huge, right?
Yeah, but it's a monkey's paw situation. You unleash something on the world and you have to pay the equal price in blood.
But if it was originally to plan, right? Because like in the story, they needed to make sure it was a virgin to be sacrificed, right? And the issue was that Jennifer wasn't, which creates the demon transference, as they said in the movie. Mm-hmm. So according to them, there was a plan for them to get off scot-free, supposedly.
I think, as with all things media related to satanic heraldry and summoning and wishes, that Ryan is right. Like, in the same way that they got their limelight and then they got murdered by Jessica's friend, I imagine that in the world where this isn't a movie and they get their wish, they still succumb to some undue
future temptation, at least.
Demise.
Right? Like, they've got one wish and it came true. Why not do another one and another one and another one? You just have to fuck up one time and create a mean lady who's coming after you, and that's it. That's the human condition.
Like the wish granting thing, that's fucking powerful, dude. I don't know. Like I wish we could.
I wish I had a Honda Accord
right now.
What?
It reminds me of like Warhammer 40K, where it's like the Emperor stayed alive because they sacrificed 10,000 psychics a day to like keep his body still alive. It's like you could have a fucked up society that's literally just like, oh no, never mind.
Yeah, we're getting to okay. We've done a lot of premise riffing.
Okay, so
let's go. Let's start some plot point beats.
Yes.
They go to the bar as underage girls. Like, they get in the bar and they're going because they want to see this band who traveled here from New York City, and they live in a small town.
Low Shoulder, headlined by Adam Brody of the OC, apparently. Oh, what you say?
And Jennifer is like, yeah, we can go be their groupies. And Amanda Seyfried's character, Needy, is of course pushing back because she's the more reserved of the duo. And she watches these Jennifer flirt with these guys, and then she overhears the bandmates say, "Yeah, she's a virgin. I know all these people in town. They like in towns like this." There's always that one that talks the talk, but they never actually does anything. And they're talking about Jennifer, about Megan Fox's character. And Amanda Seyfried hears that, says, "You know what?" Goes up to the band and sticks up for her friend. It's like, yeah, it's so what that she's a virgin. It's better that than sleeping with disgusting pricks like you. And she tells him off and completely, misunderstands the context of that conversation that they thought was private. And then there's like this fire scene. I do have a question for the panel.
The fire scene was buck wild. Yeah, go ahead.
Was that part of the ruse? Was like, did they
I think that was separate, dude.
Did they try to start the fire?
I don't think so.
To get away with a victim?
No, dude. I think because like the fire just seemed to just start, right?
On
like,
a cord or something, right?
Yeah, because I was thinking about this, Ryan, because I was like, oh, maybe they're channeling like Satan energies because they're demons. But when it turns out they were just like a bunch of humans, I was like, oh, I think the fire was just faulty wiring in that fucking shitty dive bar.
And then they took advantage of the chaos.
Yeah, and that bar, like, dude, like people were dying.
People
instantly.
were on fire, running around, and
within seconds. Yeah,
everybody's kind of just like, another day in Devil's Kettle.
The band was completely unconcerned and unbothered. The guy was literally like drinking a shot right outside. Yeah.
What alcohol should we serve at Devil's Kettle's, this dive bar? I think only Everclear. And Wild Turkey. I want it to be
we need to
as explosive as possible.
Store the bottles with rags. Cork them with rags if you're not using them.
Did not make much sense. Why the entire thing turned, besides it being a comedy, why it burst into flames in all of 12 seconds. But they got to the bathroom and jumped out the bathroom window.
And it was fine. Bathrooms are made of tile, so no wood.
I kind of liked it. I don't know. It kind of like provided some atmosphere and like a reason for the town to be kind of collectively traumatized.
And it was kind of a funny scene too, like
yeah,
just
the characters were kind of like, oh, let's get out this window. It's got a sticker toilet. And the next scene, actually, the guys getting Megan in the van was
creepy.
The scariest scene of the movie, and the scariest like scene in a non-hard horror movie I've seen in a long time, because it was extremely realistic, and we won't go into like that in too much detail, but they eventually quote unquote convince Megan Fox to get in their van, and that's when they drive her off to the woods and do the sacrifice on her to turn her into a demon. And Amanda Seyfried's character, of course, assumes the worst and goes back to town and starts essentially assuming that her friend is killed and or. The rest of the movie kind of glosses over the fire.
Well, they like mentioned it as a tragedy, right? Because they were like a bunch of people died.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons is randomly doing like memorials and stuff.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I was a little far gone by this point.
Yeah, I also this is random, but like the 9/11 shots in that bar with like the red, white, and blue, and she was like, Tower 1 needs a refill. It's very funny.
This movie was entirely uncouth.
I thought that scene was actually pretty well written, the dialogue, because she brings these two red, white, and blue shots, the tall glasses, like highballs, up to the band guy, and it's like, these are our 9/11 tribute shots.
Yeah, this is 7 years after 9/11.
You have to drink them fast, though, or else they'll turn brown, because the colors are going to mix together.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we better drink them fast then. Ha ha ha. And they kind of have this like witty banter. And you're kind of like, oh, they're bantering. Wait, what? Are those 9/11 tribute alcoholic beverages?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you said like right after this, fucking Jennifer shows up at her house, right? And at this point, she is like very obviously possessed by a demon. I think like this was the moment where I was like, oh, Megan Fox is actually like really fucking good in this. Like it made me sad because I was like, I wish there was more roles that she did like this, where she got to kind of just like play this kind of absurd role, because she's like smiling and she's like scampering across the floor, and then she's eating that rotisserie chicken off the ground.
And really, like, it's not like,
she looks like Gollum, like when she's
and like,
when she's doing
I completely agree. For me, it actually happened in the bar scene when she puts on a character within a character to talk to the band,
right?
Because she's pretending to be a groupie. And I was like, oh, that's how I kind of expected her to act throughout the whole movie. But her character's acting like that. Megan Fox is actually doing a good job.
Yeah, she's good in this. She's really good.
Like, she has a huge range. She has a comedic timing that's actually like absurdly good.
She carries most of the comedy in this movie, too.
Yeah.
It mostly comes from her character.
My tit.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
And then she throws up like what was like 200 gallons of chocolate syrup or some shit like all over Amanda Seyfried's character. And then like she just kind of leaves, right? And at that point, you're kind of like wondering if that was like a hallucination. I was wondering if that was like a hallucination or something that she had. And then it's like revealed that she had spent all night just cleaning up just the demonic barf that she left in her kitchen.
Oh.
So it's really fun. And then it kind of starts, you kind of get into the kills after this point.
Yeah, so Megan Fox kind of like chows her way through the emotionally available kind of, maybe not available is not the right word, like emotionally like
vulnerable,
sensitive, vulnerable men in town. And that's something that I didn't get the succubus vibe until she went on a kind of a monologue on like her second or third victim and said like, I need them to be, what was it? I need them to be hopeless or something.
Yeah.
Scared and hopeless.
And that, I was like, oh, okay. Right. So she's kind of like, there's been other times where vampires need their victims to be like afraid, or like even in Stranger Things, like Lord Vecna or somebody like tries to essentially scare people to death. Pennywise, that's another one who like wants his, if you stand up and you're brave to them, he can't hurt you. In this movie, it's kind of, if you fall for her tricks, if you answer her booty call, and then if you end up kissing her and kind of forgetting what you're doing, or you forget about your girlfriend, then that's when she can latch on, quite literally. And I really liked that angle, and I thought all the writing in this was going to be like, oh, you're so hot, and I'm so hot, we should do it. And the guy's like, yeah, baby. And that's kind of my expectation, because I watch a lot of slashers, and that's all that's necessary.
And like there's we've heard a lot of stories about how Megan Fox was treated in this era too. That's like really fucked up. And like seeing her in this movie, it kind of made me realize like, oh, we really missed out on like a really great like Megan Fox arc,
Yeah.
But I'm glad they made this though, because we could see it. The first kill in this movie is with like the high school football star or quarterback. The like metal music zoom in is like so good in this movie, where like they set this vibe, and she basically lures him into the forest, and then like 100 animals appear just watching him.
Yeah, I think we were like, oh, the deers are there, and he's like, oh, okay, deers. And then like a rabbit shows up. He's like, oh, okay, a rabbit, and like these are somewhat natural expectations. And then a beaver shows up, and I'm like, I spend a lot of time in the woods. I'm kind of an outdoorsy guy a little bit. I've only seen a beaver maybe less than 10 times. Like, they're pretty rare. And normally I stop what I'm doing and I take out my phone or like my camera or something, and I try to snap a pic of that. And like, he was just completely...
He was down bad. Like, he
did not care about that. And I was like, okay, he's dead. He's not. That's when this character has left a picture in my brain.
I think if any of those animals showed up, I'd be like, oh my God, like, this is incredible.
Well,
what an incredible
like a normal, like a deer and birds and stuff, though.
It's giving 2004 South Park Woodland Critter Christmas vibes. Like, the beaver's like, I'm going to suck your blood.
Blood orgy, yay! Yeah, it definitely did. And like a similar logic thing happens later, because it's like this has to be along with like the succubus myth where their minds are like corrupted or where the fuck, because the emo guy later who gets killed, he goes to like an abandoned neighborhood, and it's like the worst looking place. Like he's like,
brother, leave.
Dude, it's like one candlelit window lit in this whole like decrepit neighborhood, and he's like, oh, I guess I'm gonna go into this house covered in plastic and go up the stairs. And like we're all just like, get the fuck out of there, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, but then in another world, he's been crushing after Megan Fox's character Jennifer it's revealed that he's like really had a thing for her.
Yeah.
And she finally bit, and like and she finally called him on the booty call and said, meet me at this house, essentially. And if you're like, if that's happening to you, you're like, my entire life has led to this moment. Oh, I know why she wants an abandoned house. And so we can make a lot of noise, or like we can be alone and things like that. And so I think that in this case, the abandoned house trope actually kind of fits in because of like cognitive dissonance. Everything's going to be, you see what you want to see. And he sees, this is a good bang shack.
Yeah. Yeah, I think teenage dudes, I think that's why she's like preying on him. And to mention like maybe another thing that maybe we're not qualified to answer because of who we are, but like, there's a lot of discussion about this movie being a queer movie. I think pretty obviously too, because Needy is clearly infatuated with Jennifer. I think there's like actual romantic feelings there. Like I think it's kind of explicitly said.
They hot make out. It's pretty explicit.
Yeah, they do. It's pretty explicit. Yeah. But like there's a point where Jennifer's like targets are kind of based on Needy's gaze, right? Because like the emo dude, she didn't want to target him until she was like, wait, you think he's cool? And then she goes after him. And then like also she targets Needy's boyfriend later too. Like those were the only ones aside from like the football player that had nothing to do with Needy. And I feel like there's kind of that, it's not parasocial. There's like a relationship between those two where like something's being played, being played there.
I think Julie and I talked about this as well, and I really appreciated the angle, like the complexity they gave to Needy's like bisexuality, because in 2009 in a movie starring Megan Fox, there's a bisexual best friend character, and she was not one-dimensional. That is a miracle. Okay, like good job to the writers and stuff, because they did a really good job of giving Needy multiple angles to approach her character and like her sexuality, because she's obviously pining after her best friend. And that would make her also gay. So that situationship also already has two complicating factors. The third complicating factor is that best friend's also a demon now.
Yeah, and she has a boyfriend. Like she's already in a relationship.
Yeah, that's the fourth one.
Yeah.
And then her friend comes on to her and seemingly is doing it out of like I know you have feelings for me, and me coming on to you is another way of like manipulating you. And that puts a weird thing in. This friendship has been totally like, on good terms up until the demon thing. but like, you know, they're actual friends. And then at this point, it kind of becomes like a bullying sort of teasing way. Like, I know you're into me. I'm going to play it up, or I'm going to sneak into your bedroom at night and just kind of like tease you. And Needy, her character, even though this is the person that she's been pining after probably her entire life, or at least since she realized that she was gay, she stops it. And she says, you know, no, this isn't, like, you're not yourself. And that was a really interesting choice, because I would have sworn up and down that it was going to like fade to black. And then we're going to get a jump cut to the next morning.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it was another dimension to their relationship too, though, because like they mentioned in their relationship that she's not a very good friend. Like Jennifer's not a very good friend to Needy, right? She does manipulate her the whole fucking time, and kind of like knows that she would do anything for her. Because even like her boyfriend Chet was like, you're always doing shit for her. Like, you're like obsessed with her. Like, you don't fucking stand up for yourself. You don't do anything, you know? And I feel like the succubus demon is already playing off that existing thing.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, it's just amplifying the
That's
negative
such good writing, because that's,
yeah.
I mean, they take all these complicated elements of a relationship and they put them in like that. And I think that's just like, it's so blew my expectations out of the water.
I think
And
it's a
another-
counterpoint to you, like it being I think it's like a counterpoint to it being a possession, in that, like, I guess you could say that there's a succubus in there, but it's almost like her morality has just completely gone out the window, because she's just doing things that she was already doing as a friend, kind of.
And she has the memories, right? And kind of like the underlying personality. Like,
she's like continuing to be just like turned up to 11 of evilness.
I would agree. And that's why I think possession, isn't the right word. I don't know. It's a transformation. She's transformed into a succubus. Maybe that's...
It was, described as a transference in the movie.
Oh,
yeah, I know. And
come
they
on.
didn't do a good job making me think that.
No, yeah. Well, she was also like in the first scene where you see her back at the school and like being quote unquote normal. They're describing like it's like, and then the tragic fire, and she's like, boring. And, like, which I think is so
Sucks for them.
and her delivery of like asshole demon for the rest of the film, like as a high schooler, is like really funny to me. As a side note, like Amber and I, when we were watching, there's kind of like there's many iconic scenes in this movie, like the lighter on the tongue thing that's kind of in a bunch of stuff. But like there's a scene where she's kind of walking with like the pink zip up with the hearts on it. That's kind of iconic. And like Amber and I actually looked up that zip up. A lot of people like on TikTok and shit try to like emulate that look. And we were trying to find that zip up. Apparently it's from like Gap Kids. It sells on Depop for like $1,500 now, if it ever shows up. So
Dang.
folks at home, if you have that pink zip up from 2009, you can get a lot of money for it.
It's like Pokemon cards for them, for a different demographic.
For Jennifer's body heads. And Ryan, you mentioned like relationships too. I want to point out too, like the relationship between Chet and Needy was also kind of nice. It was just like a normal, really sweet
I really liked
relationship.
him.
Yeah, he had like his computer screensaver was his girlfriend. Like it was just a nice, like there was no fucking weird, unneeded tension between them.
His
It
sin
just,
was
like,
wanting to go to the dance with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she got him killed.
Yeah.
Because if she was like, meet me there right at the start, wouldn't have been walking through that field.
She just wanted to save him. Well, and he didn't really even stray. He was lied to. So it's like, it wasn't that he got seduced. I was like, that's fucking, shit. Oh, Chet.
The final couple standoff scenes, the battle scenes between Needy and Jennifer, I really enjoyed, because there was there's a trope that they avoided in this movie that I really don't like. And that's person breaking into abandoned building has a convenient way to get in and out of that building. In this movie, they break through this window in this abandoned swimming pool, and they fall like 4 feet into like a bunch of branches and shit. And it's like really authentic looking. Like Amanda Seyfried actually had to crawl through that window and fall into those sticks. And it wasn't like there's a couple of like wooden crates stacked in a staircase formation on the other side of a window. I really appreciented that
a real
little
stunt.
like authentic seeming aspect of it. Like she gets there to save her boyfriend, and she's already a little bit beat up. Like I enjoyed that part of it. And she's wearing her essentially was a prom dress, right? The equivalent of a prom dress. And the prom dress is getting all torn, and she's lost her shoes by this point. And then finally there's a confrontation between Demon Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried's character, who's now like, I'm the demon hunter because you're messing with my boyfriend. And I really enjoyed the witty banner.
Yeah, it was like
she's
two high
flying.
school kids.
She's levitating. You know what I'm talking about? She's like, fuck you.
You're always undermining me. I think that is something that is a clear upgrade over other slasher movies that try to be witty, especially movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, because Freddy Krueger is known for his terrible, terrible one-liners, and nothing in any Freddy movie ever, except for maybe "Welcome to Primetime, bitch," is as funny as the lines that these two characters say to each other, including like "Nice insult, Hannah Montana."
Yeah. And this was written by Diablo Cody, who wrote Juno too. So it's like this is a great one of like our generation's great writers making like a fucking horror comedy. Like, why wasn't this like the coolest, most amazing thing for everybody? Well, we know why. To speak on the showdown too, because this is coming after when Jennifer reveals to Needy like what happened to her, right? There's that scene that's kind of interesting because she comes in to Needy's place and is actually like in a non-hostile way, just straight up explaining, this is like who I am. I woke up like this. I'm possessed by a demon. It's because of these guys who fucking did this to me. And now I do this. And like, are we still friends? And Needy, you know, understandably is like, get the fuck out of here. You're a demon. But it made me wonder, it'd be like, you know, I'm trying to think like if my friend came up to me and was like, hey, I'm a demon now, and I just went through something that was like really fucked up and wild. I don't know. Maybe I would try to be friends with
You're going to try to eat my fucking girlfriend, Jace? Jace, you going to try to eat my fucking girlfriend? No.
That's like the one thing. That's like the one. Like you could have a side plot where you're like a superhero team.
There's a line. I mean, like, this is a small town in Washington. Drive 50 minutes away and go eat somebody somewhere else. Like, you know?
And she was also, sorry, I keep bringing up the rotisserie chicken because it introduces a lot of different factors in this movie that are logical. She eats a rotisserie chicken earlier so that she can eat things that are not people. Like, could this be a Twilight situation where they're draining animal blood?
I thought that's why she vomited.
Oh, do you think it's because of the rotisserie?
Jace.
Yeah, I don't.
Inspector Barley on the case.
I think she ate some chicken and then realized she can't eat chicken.
It has to be flesh.
Vomited it up, and
Jesus
later
Christ.
we get the throwback scene that she ate the foreign exchange student after leaving.
Right.
Okay. Needy's house.
Maybe give her a job at like a mortuary where she could be like an alternative disposal device. Like, aside from burial and cremation, eaten by a demon. That could be like
that'd
the
be
third
dope.
option. Yeah, like, I don't know
Organ
like how
donor
many people
on the back of the license, and then there's demon.
eat around the organs, please. Like, I feel like there is a demographic of people who would pay premium dollar to have their bodies disposed of by a demon.
By this demon especially.
Just an idea. Ending of this movie?
Yeah, it's reversed. I really liked how they flipped the final girl trope on its head. And the final girl trope is in every single slasher movie, including a movie called The Final Girls. Like, it's a plot point, an explicit plot point to parodies, well, quasi-parodies like Cabin in the Woods. And the Scary Movie has also made an entire franchise based on it. The trope is that at the end of the movie, the final person that the bad guy has to fight and eventually lose to is a girl, and the girl is a victim. In this movie, Amanda Seyfried goes Van Helsing and turns into a demon hunter. And I really enjoyed that she was the one committing a B&E here and wasn't the one laying in bed while the demon came through the window. That was really refreshing.
Yeah, she literally dove through the window with a box cutter.
Yeah, and we got the great liner.
They should have picked a different weapon. You guys
not my
use box
choice.
cutters often.
Yeah.
Like the
Not a
box
stabbing
cutter.
weapon.
The box
Yeah.
cutter was out that far. That thing's going sideways, and she put it. Ribs run horizontally, right? She put it this way
Yeah,
through. She didn't.
It's not gonna do it.
There was a.
It's a
kind of
goof.
maybe a little bit of a goof.
This
But
demon girl just got killed by a box cutter.
Yeah, but it resulted in two all-timer lines. One of them I won't repeat.
Yeah.
The other one, actually, really, the box cutter itself led to only two of them, but there was a third one. My favorite line was, "Do you buy all your killing tools at Home Depot?"
Yeah.
Which is like so funny. I don't know why.
It's a good line. I was like, why a box cutter? Was that like a priest's box cutter? Did he like drop it in like some water?
I think it's
and he was
refreshing to
like-
have a pragmatic take. Like, she just grabs something that's just around and is sharp. She doesn't spend, there's not like a 6-minute long, I'm sharpening this banister thing into a stake.
There is kind of like this symbolic fight where she like rips the BFF necklace off and then like stabs her with the thing. And then like the ending's kind of nightmarish, dude. Holy shit. Jennifer, you're expecting her to, I mean, I expected her to like explode or something, kind of like what they do in like demon movies, but she just dies. Like she just dies like a person. And then the mom walks in and you're like, oh my God, this is unexplainable.
And who's the monster now?
Yeah. And I wonder, like, did they pin her for like the rest of the shit that happened in the town?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you kill one person and you can be like, okay, you know, but if you're a serial killer, yeah, you're getting like the book's getting thrown at you.
I think it's a little bit of a cop out. I think if you can transform into a demon form with your eyeballs and you can make a snake mouth, but you just die and then you just look like a human. It's like, wait,
that's not fair.
That was the demon's last fuck you. You're like, all right, I'm gonna sleep. Eat shit, you fucker. I'm immortal.
I'm going back to hell.
And like that whole thing too, like slaying a demon, it reminds me of that Tumblr post. I mean, it was on a Buffy episode where like it's that trope, right, where they're like, no weapon forged by a human can kill like a demon, but like the technology, there's been like 1,000 years of technology since that statement was made, and something like an RPG or just like any like weapon could absolutely kill a vampire. And they're like, I just keep hitting him with a stick and he wouldn't die.
Yeah, we shouldn't have said that when we only had rocks and sticks.
It's like the same could have been said about a grizzly bear, I think, for like a really, really long time. There's an epilogue in this movie, you mentioned. It felt a little random at first. I was hoping they wouldn't end the movie just with that, and I think the epilogue kind of helped add like a little thing to it. But yeah, she gets bit by Jennifer and gets the powers, and then just goes hunting the band, which is like, I'm glad they didn't fucking get away with it. And there's like a found footage home video.
Not even post-credit scene either. It's a during credit scene. Like the credits are part of the movie. Just how sometimes movies that do credits while the movie's playing, like opening credits, so don't stop for it. The credits are part of the movie. Like it's part of the runtime. And the end credits in this movie are like part of the runtime of the movie, which is a really interesting take on how to do that.
Yeah, it reminds me of that remake of Dawn of the Dead with the mall where they like get to the island. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like part of the actual ending of the movie.
Yeah.
But I love that found footage thing too, where it's like shows the band partying and then she just shows up and then you just see her on the security camera. It was cool. I don't know. I'd watch a sequel.
Do you think what's the difference between? I'm reading that the difference between the unrated version and the regular theatrical version includes the scenes at the beginning with Needy in the prison.
Huh.
Which
maybe there's more prison scenes, because I saw like a couple of quotes on IMDb. There was like a couple extra gags.
Yeah, Patrick Starr got a couple extra lines too.
Yeah, a couple. It was Patrick Starr. Chris Pratt was randomly in this movie too. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't get to see the unrated. Let us know if you've seen it at home. You guys want to get into movie meters?
Yeah, I'll come out right and say it. I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10 on my movie meter. I don't know what kind of sort of suckometer we would do if we would.
No, please, God.
If we were going to do a theme meter. But
yeah.
my how I like this movie, I'm going to give it a 9. This is on like the level of like Christine for me, where I thought it was going to be kind of up my alley, but have a lot of bad stuff, like not well made going on, and then it's absolutely knocked out of the park for me. I think this is objectively a good movie, and it's one of the better, because a lot of slashers are horror comedies. I think this is pretty much on par with quality-wise, like a lot of the Kevin Williamson movies, who did like Scream, and I Know You Did That Summer. There's some good stuff. Like even the boyfriend's like dying scene, he says, I think you look really hot in that dress, because she's wearing her like tattered prom dress, and it's really not in style. And she's like, now you're delirious, kind of just joking. And he's like, no, I'm not. And like, you can be earnest. Like these earnest conversations from these people can lead to extremely good character development. Things don't have to be like this. You can take things seriously, and you can say what the characters are actually thinking. And it's really refreshing to see that. I thought the movie was shot extremely well. Like this movie's hella in focus. Have you the close-ups of the characters' faces? Like you can see their individual pores.
It looks good, yeah.
Which kind of, I mean, you kind of expect that, but sometimes watch a movie where the character's not right next to the camera. It's not like a close-up. And sometimes it's a little bit off focus, or the background's also in focus, so you can't really, the face doesn't jump out at you. The faces in this movie jump out at you. And the way they did the makeup, where Megan Fox is sometimes seen putting on makeup and she's seen without it and seen with it, and you can kind of be like, oh, okay, I kind of see what they're doing here. That's almost a metaphor. That's weird. I didn't expect that. And the final thing that makes this movie get extra points is that I watched it at my Halloween party with a group of people, and I throw DVD parties. If we're watching a movie at my house, we're watching it in physical media. We're not putting anything on stream. And I didn't have a DVD of this movie. So I sent into my group chat like hey, if you're coming over today and you happen to have a DVD copy of Jennifer's Body, please bring it. And so one of my friends brought it on a flash drive from when she pirated it like years ago.
And we got her.
Yeah.
Folks.
And so that was like, I don't know. That was really fun. I thought that added a little bit extra of the like analog, well, it's digital, but like an analog feel to the viewing. I'm going to give it a 9. I loved it.
Yeah. Ryan, I agree. Like I like this a lot more than I expected, even knowing that it was kind of like had a new critical lens and a lot of people like it. Like I was expecting to kind of have like this thing where it's like, yeah, it was pretty good, but still overall like it's pretty good for what it is. But no, I fucking loved this movie. Like, it was an absolute vibe, too. Like, I love vibey movies. Like, when the soundtrack, the style, and everything is just, like, really coming together. I also like that it's very of its time. It's very 2009. They made it kind of modern. Like, they got Fall Out Boy posters from the soundtrack and, like, literally the clothes and the way that they're talking. I feel like nowadays, if you made a movie like this, they would make it take place in the 80s and you'd be hearing, like, fucking Take On Me in the background and shit. Like, it would try to be like a nostalgic thing. This is like, we're going to make a modern thing for kids who were around at this time, and it's going to be encapsulated, and it's going to be a classic because of it. And I think like it totally succeeded in everything. I was laughing. I was like enthralled too. And like, I think it's also good because you can literally rewatch this movie and think of different ways to analyze it. There's so many different lenses to break this down that's actually like really socially meaningful and really cool. Yeah, this movie was like way fucking better than what I thought it would be. And I feel like I kind of wish that I watched it at the time because I was like, that's a good movie that we all missed out on. This thing bombed like hell. I think it made like 15 million or some shit in the box office. It's a real shame. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 too.
I think it's like really 2008 coded, but I think it's like a 5.
That's fine.
Oh.
I think
like a movie.
that's perfectly fine. Movies that are vibey, that's what happens.
I think there's a lot. There's a lot to be said about. I mean, I think it's very interesting that the movie got the marketing that it did, and that the marketing team had nothing to do with the making of the movie, which is why it ended up in the situation that it was in. And there's this really funny story of there's a long comment on Reddit about a guy that was like, "Oh, I showed movies. Like I did screenings. My job was doing screenings for movies, I did the screening for this movie with the producer and like the figurehead for whatever studio funded it. And after the movie was over, the studio turned around and she threw her shoe at the producer. I was like, what the fuck? You wasted all our money."
Oh no.
Some shit like that. Yeah, I mean, they like subvert a lot of, like you guys talked about, they subvert a lot of tropes in the horror ecosystem. It's just neither of them are things that I'm familiar enough to like really care about the critique. Yeah. I'm surprised. I'm glad because I backed this movie up when Ryan pitched it. I'm really glad that you liked it. Not a bad movie. I did think it was funny. 6 might be more fair. It's like
Look, you can give it a 5, homie. It's cool, dude. We got 2 pro Jennifer's Body people repping, so it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think this was still like a surprising watch that we had here. This would have been good for our fake Amanda Seyfried season because we watched The Art of Racing in Rain.
Was she in that?
Yeah, she was in that one.
Oh, it's like
remember that movie? It was a great movie. So there you have it, folks.
She was like 8?
No, she was.
No,
she was like the husband
wife
of Milo
what?
Ventimiglia.
I don't even remember what year The Art of Racing in the Rain was
died,
fucking made,
dude. Bro, I think it was like 2016. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, folks at home, watch Jennifer's Body. Do you like it? Did you not like it? Hit us up. I think I have the next pick. Is that right? Okay, I'm just going to say what my next pick is on here because I already have it selected. The M. Night Shyamalan movie Trap is on HBO now. I want to see that shit. I heard it has mixed reviews, like every M. Night Shyamalan movie, so I want to see if this shit is a mess. It probably is. So that is what I would like to watch.
Cool.
Next week, do we want to leave our audience?
No.
We'll stay with them. We'll stay. All right, let's keep going. What else did you think about Jennifer's body?
It has a really great blood-sucking scene.
Yeah, cupping
The cupping
out of
scene.
the out
the
of
cupping
the cavity.
out of the cavity and eating it out of her hands.
Oh my God.
Such a
Yeah, I
unique
forgot about
take
that.
on
Yeah.
doing that. I love unique. This is gonna sound extremely specific, and
Yeah.
I didn't actually do this, but Denali, you can back me up that I was talking about this the other day.
Yes.
I love unique blood-sucking scenes, and
That's why I sent you that meme the other day.
and this one and Midnight Mass now are like my two favorite blood-sucking scenes, and they're just so like unique and like visceral.
It gives like Apex Predator vibes.
Yes.
Like orcas eating the livers or whatever out
For
of sharks.
the polar bear livers and
Yeah, she like rips these people open, takes like 4 bites, drinks the blood. It's like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, because they don't. They're mostly in
like salmon's only eating this, or like bears only eating the skins of salmon because that's like the fattiest part, and they just let the birds eat the meat.
Jesus Christ, bears! What the fuck?
Yeah, the salmons live through it.
Bears
my
are
God.
demons.
Bears are fucked up, dude. You want to leave with a popcorn quote to banish a demon?
Don't
Ever
Foul.
balls
of
Pitcher.
types
because
Shohei.
that
Shohei's a name.
I know. Shohei, that you could do like a sub clause.
Oh, always.
What?
Huh?
I'm so confused.
Hold on. Let's replace that because Shohei never
Skips.
Church?
balls.
Church balls. There it is.
I don't even know what words were said.
Yeah, because I messed it up by introducing an unexpected sub clause.
I don't even believe in subclause.